Welcome to today's video. We are going to go over the top 5 loadouts after the Season 3 Reloaded update. And then we got another weapon update a couple days later to fix a broken DG58 LSW conversion kit that was just absolutely mopping everybody. So this is my top 5, and as you can see at the end here, I do have a sleeper meta contender that I would like to share with you guys. The next loadout video, I'm probably going to do just Modern Warfare 2 weapons that are still viable, because they did change a little bit. We did get some buffs. So, without further ado, make sure you guys like and comment on the video. It goes a long way to support the channel, and I appreciate everybody that takes the time to do so. And if you're new here, make sure you subscribe, man. All the weapons that I build, I don't just build these because, this is what my favorite streamer says or whatever. I build these weapons to put in the hands of any player that wants to pick these weapons up, and that it's easy for them to use and they can fry with it, but it's also not going to be super limiting. So that being said, make sure you subscribe if that's something that you're interested in. So our number 5 here is the WSP9 and the MTZ556. WSP9 has like the 5th or 6th best TTK for close range, but the reason it beats out what would have been number 5 is because it hits like a truck. It does a lot of damage per bullet, and it has the best damage range of any SMG. It currently sits at about 18.5 meters, and it has like a 650 millisecond TTK roughly thereabouts, and it has a really high headshot multiplier. So if you mix in a couple headshots, you're golden. But you're also going to outgun all the other SMGs at that longer range of 14 to 18.5 meters. So this build we went with to get some movement speed and to be just better overall. I'll go into the firing range and I'll show you. Flash hider for the shortened radar ping, recoil control, all that fun stuff. DR6 hand stop. Important thing is the ADS and sprint to fire. Then we have the 40 round mag, because it's plenty with the slow fire rate. If you want the sniper support build, leave a comment and I'll drop the sniper support build in my Discord. A link to that will be in the description, and if it doesn't work for you, just leave a comment on the video and I will get you a fresh new link to use. I have all of my builds for all the weapons that I've used in my Discord. And then we have the Nidar Model 2023, and then the Lockman Havoc stock. So when we shoot this, it's so easy to use, man. Bonk. It just puts so much damage down range, man. So, next we're going to do the MTZ556. So this is the build that I recommend for the everyday average player to use. It's still very easy to use, and it still fries. It's still got a really good bullet velocity, 930 meters per second. However, if you are inclined to do so and you feel comfortable with it, I do believe the iron sight version of this is better, and it has a lot less recoil. Like, literally, this is a point-and-shoot kind of gun, and it has bare minimum recoil. Just like that. So you put the MTZ Marauder stock on there. But if you want to keep sight on there, the Choreo Eagle's Eye is the way to go. It's still very easy to use. I'm just a bad shot, guys. I apologize. You could go with the glassless optic as well. It will work very good. Bonk. 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 So, that's why that's number 5. Fast fire rate, good TTK at range. Here's number 5. Number 4, we have the Ram 9, which found its way back into the SMG meta. It's got a roughly 650 millisecond TTK, which can be faster if you mix in some headshots, as always. They nerfed the recoil on this with this last patch update, so we kind of compensated for that a little bit. We have a compensated flash hider, which we always use. The X10 Phantom is where we compromised here. Normally we'd use the DR6 hand stop to get our ADS and sprint to fire down and give us some movement, but because they nerfed it, we're using the Phantom 5, which is going to help us with our recoil a little bit and still give us ADS and sprint to fire speed as well. High grain rounds is a must with this because it has like a 10.2 meter range, and this brings it up to about 14 or 12 or something like that. 50 round mag, and then the recon comb is big here because it gives us firing game stability as well as helping our sprint to fire speed a lot and our ADS speed just a little bit. And then we have the BP-50 as a long-range weapon. This thing absolute laser beam, and it fries people at every range. and it's not hard to hit your shots, but the limiting factor and what makes it number 4 is the fact that you only have a 45 round mag. It's not like Warzone 1 where we had the 60 round mag. We don't get that here. So we get the 4-bearer heavy, which is going to give us 16% to all of our recoil stuff. Choreo Eagle's Eye, really clean sight. Use whatever you're most comfortable with. Lower 9 heavy barrel gives us firing aim stability, and it helps with recoil control, gun kick control, and bullet velocity. And then the Spirit Fire suppressor keeps us off the map, and it helps with bullet velocity, recoil control, and extends out our damage range. And this is probably one of the easiest guns to use you will ever see in your life. Look at this. Bonk. 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 Just like that. So easy to use. This could easily be number 3 or number 2 if it weren't for that magazine. Number 3, however, we have the UMP9, the Striker 9. This is the fastest killing SMG in the game. Has a 50 round mag, fast fire rate, very clean iron sights, and it's very easy to control. So the iron sights are pretty clean there, and it doesn't really move all that much. So if you guys are not comfortable with those iron sights, I would suggest dropping the Recon long barrel and putting the optic on. However, we get the DR6 hand stop, helping with our ADS and our sprint to fire. Compensated flash hider as always. Now, the reason I'm using the long barrel is to get that damage range boost, as well as helping that bullet velocity, which will make those mid-range fights feel a lot better. Chronos Assault, this is like a secret, this is some secret tech here. So we're going to get aim down sight speed help here, hurt the sprint to fire a little bit, and it's going to help our recoil control, but it also gives us really good firing aim stability, which is why the gun feels like it doesn't move at all. It says it helps recoil control. Stats say it hurts recoil control. I don't know what it actually does, but I know that this is probably the best stock attachment to use. You could get away with using one of these, but they hurt your aiming idle, sway, gun kick control, even your firing aim stability. So just honestly, it's not really worth using any of these. You could use the Lockman heavy brace stock, or even this, but that hurts your, even though it helps your recoil, hurts your ADS speed and only gives you minimal movement pros. So this is my recommendation. And then we have the STB-556, technically the fastest killing assault rifle at all ranges. It's very easy to use, very easy to control, and this is our build. The Bruin Tarraco barrel gives us 25% damage range boost, as well as a 33% boost to our bullet velocity. So this build specifically has like 1100 bullet velocity. So shooting at people out of the air at hit scan is just, it's really, really easy. Bruin heavy support to help with the horizontal recoil. High grain rounds to extend the damage range and give us better bullet velocity. 42 round mag is the limiting factor here, but it still really kills really fast, which makes it worth running. And then the glassless optic, because this is an MW2 weapon. Number 2, we have the MCW with the Jack Raven kit. This has a 600 millisecond TTK out to 20 meters, which is better than anything else that's viable. Now, you could use something like the Wasp Stinger Akimbo, which has like a 350 millisecond TTK, but you have to barrel stuff people, and then there's just not enough attachments to make the hip fire spread really small, so that way you're essentially just, killing people at whatever range. But it's only got like a 9-meter range. The hip fire spread is pretty bad for the Akimbos, so you have to barrel stuff people, and that's just, sometimes that's not possible to do. So this gun gives you a lot of options. If you don't want to use a laser, you could switch it for like the Zeman compensated flash hider, or an optic, or even a suppressor if you wanted to. And it has very minimal recoil built like this, even with the attachments that hurt the recoil. Number 2, long range. This could also be easily be number 1. It's the Holger 26. This thing just is a beast. Has really good bullet velocity, really good damage range, and is very super easy to control. Broom pivotal vertical grip, which is going to help with vertical recoil, gun kick control, firing aim stability, aiming idle stability, the whole 9 yards. Sonic suppressor, we do go for the sonic suppressor here. It does not hurt our ADS speed, and it gives us 13% bullet velocity as opposed to 7% from the Spirit Fire suppressor, but it does also help our damage range by 5%, which that does as well. Holger factory barrel, get the 3-in-1 combo, get damage range, bullet velocity, and recoil control. Choreo Eagle's Eye, or whatever optic you guys feel comfortable with, glassless optic, NIDAR, whatever you guys want to use. The Ascent Lord stock gives us aiming idle stability, firing aim stability, as well as really good pros to our recoil gun kick, as well as our regular recoil control. And I will demonstrate how much of a laser beam this actually is. Just like that, bro. This is got slightly more recoil than our number one option that we'll get to here in a minute, but it is what it is. So speaking of number ones, BP-50 with the Jack Revenger kit, 609 millisecond TTK, and with the 9mm high grain rounds that extends out to about 14 meters, has the best movement speed of any weapon that we have, even without being able to increase it. No underbarrel, no barrel, no stock, no comb. So we have no way of making the movement speed any better. The only thing we can do is make the sprint to fire and ADS speed better, but the ADS speed is already at 190 milliseconds, and the only way to make the sprint to fire speed faster is to use like a laser. So if you don't want to do that, just stick to this build, and this thing absolutely shreds. Don't use it outside of 14 meters, even though, it's a laser beam, because you'll probably get outgunned. So that's the BP-50. And then the DG-58 LSW, this thing is an absolute monster. This build, 1100 bullet velocity, basically zero recoil, and it absolutely shreds. This is the go-to. This is the gun that you should be using for long range if you are not sniping. So now your sleeper meta. Believe it or not, Vel 46, 690 millisecond TTK, but if you can mix in one or two headshots, it drops down to low 600s, like 620, 625, something like that. So it's very easy to hit headshots. This gun is easy to use, has good movement speed, and it actually has some pretty decent bullet velocity. 513 with the compensated flash hider. And it's got good movement speed, 5.1 base movement speed, 5.7 sprint, and 7.3 tactical. And it's got a good ADS and a good sprint to fire time as well. And like I said before, it's very, very easy to use. You definitely fry people at a decent range with that weapon. And then we have the Kastov 545. This build specifically, the reason I say it's a sleeper meta, it's not going to be the greatest over, 50 plus meters. But if you're within 50 meters with this thing, so like a Rebirth Island or a Fortune's Keep kind of thing, this gun just absolutely fries people. It does so much damage in that first damage range, and it's so easy to control. Like, that's a 50-meter target, and I've fried all three of those targets with this gun. Sleeper meta, definitely worth using. I'm going to do some more testing to make sure, but the next video after this is going to be some sort of MW2 viability weapons, because we do have a bunch of longer range weapons that are decent, just not much close range options. But that's going to be it for the video today. If you made it this far, thank you guys so much for watching. Like, comment, and sub if you're new, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.